All right, NFL Week 13, early bets, early leans, early things to consider. It's Thanksgiving week. I already did guess the spread over on my TikTok. Let's start with Thanksgiving, right? I mean, it's coming up. We got 3 games. 2 of them are absolutely horrendous. I don't even want to watch them, but we're going to be forced to. I'll have to dive really deep to find bets on those games. Could be props. It's ugly, but we do have a good one in the night game there on Thanksgiving, Miami at Green Bay. And when I did guess the spread, I thought I was going to be liking Miami, getting the three in the hook there. But as I monitor the lines here, Miami's getting some money. And I think we could see 3 pop up for the Packers, 3 minus 110. That's what I'd be looking for. The reason I feel that way is, well, let's go over to our guy, Evan Abrams. Shout out Casey. He loves when I quote Evan Abrams, but these are the types of trends that I like that Evan spits out. Miami could be going to Green Bay, or, they are going to Green Bay, but it could be real cold. Expected to be just under 30 degrees, winds 7 to 10 miles per hour. Tua has played in 40 degrees temperature or colder 4 times with the Dolphins. 0-4 straight up, 1-3 ATS, failing to cover by 18 points per game. So this could be the classic Miami going outside. Miami has, exceeded expectations, I would say, the last couple of weeks since Tua has come back. They blow out the Raiders. They blow out New England. And now they go to a chilly Green Bay on a short week. This, to me, if 3 pops up, I will be hitting the Green Bay Packers. And I think Miami right now, that 3 and a hook, they're becoming a little bit of a trendy dog. And I'll tell you what, on Thanksgiving Day, favorites tend to do tremendously well. Favorites on Thanksgiving since 2004, they're 48-9 straight up, 38-19 against the spread. One of the feelings that's kind of consistent with Thursday night, or at least it was for a period of time, is when you get 2 teams on a short week, tends to be just not a lot of time to prepare, and so the more talented team wins. Maybe you think Miami's more talented. The books are telling you that they think Green Bay is better. And, when you get a situation like that, it's roll the balls out. And, again, not a lot of time to scheme, all that sort of stuff. And the better team tends to win when you're in a circumstance like that and cover. So I would love, Miami to be, again, feels like a trendy dog. Put that line down to 3, and then I'd be hitting Green Bay. As for the other games, look, I'm going to have to dive real deep to find something, probably a prop, whatever. But, we're going to be betting them. It's Thanksgiving, but just tread lightly. That night one is what I'm looking at more closely. Let's talk early bets I certainly want to fire away at, and that would be the San Francisco 49ers +7. I still see +7s out there. I would grab +7 against the Buffalo Bills. And to me, it's a free roll situation. I think Purdy, I feel like you got to lean that the guy's playing. He was a limited participant kind of Wednesday, Thursday. Let me look. Yeah. Purdy was a limited participant Wednesday, Thursday, and then didn't participate on Friday. Then he's ruled out. At least the fact that he was some sort of participant last week tells me I think he's going to play. And even so, I like the free roll in that situation, right? Still getting 7, kind of a buy low on San Francisco. And, you could have Trent Williams back. He was questionable going into the Green Bay game. So it'd be nice to get him. I don't think Bosa, but I like San Francisco here at 7. If you just look at the look-ahead line, which would have been Purdy playing because this was before he was ruled out. The look-ahead line for this game was Buffalo -3. Okay, obviously Purdy's worth some points. Obviously, we've probably downgraded San Francisco. But even if you don't get 7, I don't mind 6.5 at a smaller play. I immediately took San Francisco +7 there. I think it's an opportunity, like I said, to buy low on San Francisco in a free roll situation. This guy plays. That line's obviously going to go in San Francisco's direction. That is Purdy and hopefully, like I said, Williams as well. I'm not too hopeful about Bosa. Let's move on here. Another game I have circled. And by the way, if you're going to any of these games, make sure to use Seat Club. It's the Costco of tickets. You pay 1 fee up front, and they don't pay fees on your tickets for the rest of the year. All those pesky little fees that they hide in there. You pay it one time with Seat Club, and if you use code Snapback, you get a little bit of a discount as well. It's the best thing in the entire world. It's for people who go to events, people who go watch ball, people who go watch pucks, hoops, whatever it is. I use Seat Club. I think it's the absolute best. So make sure you're using that. It's a great gift around the holidays as well. Arizona +4 at Minnesota. Interesting spot for Minnesota. Feels like they've been on the road forever. Yeah, they have. 3 straight road games. Now they come home. They're laying 4 to Arizona. And I know we all just watched Arizona play Seattle in that late window on Sunday. look, they lose the game. They were flip flopping as favorites with with Seattle rather all week. And to me, if you just pull up the box score from this game, right? Like I think a lot of us are going to get lost in what the margin ended up being, which was what was it 10? Yeah, 16-6. If you just look at the box score, team stats, Arizona total yards 298, Seattle 285, rushing yards 49 for Arizona, 65 for Seattle, passing yards 249 for Arizona, 220 for Seattle. What was the big difference in the game? The Kyler Murray pick six. I think we can get a little bit lost in what the margin was in that game. And I feel like Minnesota has been playing with fire. And I'll have to do a deeper dive. I was trying to turn this video around quick. I have to do a deeper dive on teams to play 3 straight road games and then their first game back and they're a favorite of, say, 3 or more. My instinct tells me that's a good spot for Arizona here. So, the look ahead for this game was 4, and it's still 4. Minnesota, again, they kind of played with their food a little bit over the last couple weeks, just not totally sharp. And Arizona, I think that there could be people not in a rush to bet Arizona after it felt like, I think a lot of people felt like Arizona could have been a gimme against Seattle. Like, hey, why is the spread so short? Why, I don't want to get burned by them again. So Arizona, I fired away at +4. Maybe you can wait on it. Seems like 4 is painted across the market. And like I said, that San Francisco, to me, I think it's a free roll situation. Another one I'm really interested in is Denver laying 5.5 at home against Cleveland, right? We saw what Cleveland did against Pittsburgh. That was kind of I guess a trendy spot to back Cleveland there, but it showed me something. I thought this team was kind of dead in the water. I didn't bet that game at all. That Pittsburgh-Cleveland game. I thought Cleveland, it was a possibility they'd quit, especially, the way they got blown out the weeks before that. The New Orleans one really stuck out in my mind. But now you get a Denver team. Like, look, the Raiders had that game. They were more than competitive in that game and more than competitive to cover in that game. Minshew gets hurt late. There was an adjustment though, right? The look-ahead line for this was Denver -7. You get Cleveland beats Pittsburgh outright on Thursday, and Denver looks okay against the Raiders. So it does come down from 7 to 5.5. It seems that's pretty consistent around the market, sitting at that 5.5. But so I think you can kind of wait on it. But I'm interested in Cleveland. If it gets to 6, I would for sure fire away on Cleveland. Think you can kind of wait a little bit here. I think Denver, look, Bo Nix has been great. I think you give him all the credit in the world, but I think this is just a little too much for this Denver team to be laying. Just a little too much love for a Cleveland team that I saw rally around Winston, rally around that win against Pittsburgh in the snow. Now they get an extended week here, or extended rest rather, playing the Thursday game. So, I'm interested in Cleveland if we can get that number. Another number on the move is Indianapolis. They're laying 2.5 at New England. It's getting juiced towards Indianapolis. I might hold my nose and take the Patriots at +3. If it gets to 3, -310, if it gets to 3, -110. New England looked off the blowout, getting blown out against Miami. I still think Drake May is an upgrade to that offense, and Indianapolis is just a team for me that I just scratch my head because they were actually competitive in that Detroit game. I felt like it was played closer than the final score, but 3 is just a little much for me if they're laying that on the road. So that's something I'm looking at. And finally, too, one more game here. There's a lot to talk about. Okay, a lot to talk about. The LA Chargers laying 1.5 at Atlanta is just a little bit perplexing to me. We haven't seen Monday Night Football yet, but this is going to be a big statement for who the Chargers really, really are. 2.5-point home dogs to the Ravens on Monday night. If you think they're going to win the game, I'd probably go grab them to -1.5 against Atlanta too, because that spread will get bigger. I think they're competitive in the game. I guess I'm going to wait to see what happens on Monday Night Football because I do think that Baltimore is going to win the game. And I just think the Chargers laying 1.5 in Atlanta, that to me says what they're, 3 or so, 2.5 on a neutral. Atlanta doesn't have a great home field, 2 dome teams. And for them to be laying a short number like that, I just think the Chargers, I have them as more like 4 points better than Atlanta on a neutral field. So that's one to me. I didn't fire away because I can't really explain why they're 1.5 point favorites. At the very least, 2.5 to me. So that's what I'm looking at, and you can decide if you agree with me or not. But that's kind of how I feel. So the takeaways for me are: if Green Bay gets down to 3, I'm laying it, and I already took San Francisco +4 or +7, and I already took Arizona +4. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Should be fun to at least just sit there and bet the games, I guess. I mean, look, thank God they have point spreads. Thank God they have player props, because these games are ugly and we're going to be waiting all day for Thursday night, that Miami Green Bay game. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your week 13.